Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a review of Tales of Wedding Rings, episode 6. Yes, dude, based off my notes now, we are now covering episode 6. Yeah, we're halfway through these episodes, and this is the training arc. This is one of those things. So again, this is a training arc. You're bound. This is a very paced anime to talk about, given the fact that let me close my door for this one. Given the fact that this show needs to be talked more in this roundabout way of Tales of Wedding Rings, with Sato and Hime going their separate ways. Hime, Nefertiti, and Granat are going to they're going to the mage territory to study magic, and Masa is still there with Sato. But this is a learning curve, especially for Hime. This episode is dedicated for Hime because of all the people using magic, let's be real, Hime is the least amount of power that she has. Kind of the weakness, the weak one in the group. Understand, she has the element of light. Light is how do I put this? Respectfully. Out of all the 5 elements in the Tales of Wedding Rings, element of light is the strongest one. Compared to water, earth, fire, and wind, light is so powerful than the others. The only drawback is Hime herself is not really controlling it like that, or even have a amount of light magic to go around to a point where she could actually do something about it. While the other 4 elements are easy to have, light magic has been a downward thing for Hime. Because you gotta remember, everyone has their unique style of magic, easy to control. And for Hime's sake, is not that easy. While I do like this episode being as paced and development as it is, it's safe to say that Hime's magic, we're going to see more drama and more epic moments of Hime, given the fact that light is the toughest magic. So without further ado, let's get right to it with episode 6 review of Tales of Wedding Rings, episode 6. Okay, so Marion, Hime, Granat, and Nefertiti all head into the mage spirally tower looking thing where everybody here is studying magic. Everybody here is studying magic, and everyone seems so quiet. Everybody seems so quiet, like so quiet, to a point where it's like going to the library and everyone is just minding their own freaking business. But, everyone has their ways as to why they in here. As we approach now, we meet the dean, who knows her mother, and she said she's the great aunt. Now, understandable to Hime's sake, not only she's related to them, but they're getting trained by 3 people. 3 people they're training. You got one elf that was trained who's training Nefertiti in wind magic, and then you got this other one you got the other dark-skinned girl who's training Granat on fire magic. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm not surprised that who I'm revealing later. I'm not surprised by that because, one, that was the only dark-skinned girl I've seen in that before Granat. So I know there's not a lot of black people in this show. I mean, in season 2, but again, from this perspective, I'm not surprised. But I digress from my point. Anyway, light magic is very hard because you have to channel all the lightness from the darkness. Darkness consumes the light. Fireflies thing. But if you have light magic, you have more power than any other out of the 4 elements. The element of light is more powerful than the other 4, to a point where it brings brightness towards the darkness of the ring of the Abyss King, which was Hime's training. Because Hime's flashback just shows more about her backstory, about her mother giving her the ring, 2 rings, one for the element of light and one for the new Ring King by promise. So channeling all that negativity on Hime holds a bare responsibility on that. Really is tough. Now, we do applaud. Now listen, we do applaud the sisterly fan service bond that Hime and Marion have. Yes, the fan service is back, and it's not as strong as you think it is. This is more like a light tier fan service, because again, it wasn't really focused on the fan service. It was just more the sisterly bond that Marion and Hime have. I mean, yeah. That's that. But deep down, we all know Hime is jealous of the four. You got, let's be honest. Even though Hime accepted Sato and put him in a dangerous spot, being sent to another world, being sent to another world, he has a huge responsibility with gotta marry all 5 wives, each with its own element. Hime herself, even though she's the element of light, she still feels that whole responsibility that she's being left out. Because again, you gotta think about this. Amber is an android. She's smart, element of earth. Sapphire, element of water, can transform. She's very powerful. Granite, warrior, bravest of the group, the muscle of the group. She has a sword, element of fire. And Nefertiti's hottest elf, by the way, top 3 hottest elf in anime. You understand? She has more wind magic to a point where she's kind of a level of from Black Clover. And that right there is why she's that good. Hime is just Hime. You see what I'm saying? Just Hime. Not even like light. Like, she doesn't have any type of abilities like that. The only thing she has for her is her staff, which, by the way, she gotta get that kind of pressure of her own to use it. We did see that in the beginning of season 2, but she needs more light magic. Like, literally more light magic to a point where Hime gets a reliable source from an unknown source, from an unknown person. Just touch Hime's face, and then all of a sudden her light magic just like whoosh, blown up. And even the dean herself was like, wait a minute, there's no one here that can learn light magic. That's kind of a sus situation. Think about it. No one in this mage place knows light magic. Nobody doesn't know how to use light magic. And then there's all of a sudden this random person came out of the way and just gave you advice to use light magic to a point where he may study got light magic. That's kind of weird. Now, Granard or Grania. One thing I like about this also episode, not only he makes the villain, but we got to see Granard's mother. We saw her in the opening. We saw it when Granard mentioned her mother. Now we get to see her mother. And I gotta say, she's smashable. That is a smashable cat MILF. Let me say this again just for funniness. That is a gorgeous cat MILF smash. She is so positivity. I mean, yeah, the training for Granite went a little too far. With a little bit of bruises and all that stuff. I mean, it's been a week. I forgot to mention, it's been a week since this whole training thing, and they've been training ass. But Granite, her training is more physical and learning fire magic and physical strength with her mother, and her mother is fascinating. So fine. I mean, after the Ring King's death, she's just all she did was just stayed. She stayed with the mage to be part of like headmaster. So I do like that. And they had that motherly sister bond thing going on. I love it. How it's like one of those father, you ever have the parents parents or grandparents that just teases you, patting your head. It's like, oh, that's my little this and that. So when Granard's mother came in, she called her a Graniac. It's just a beautiful thing. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Happened at the moment. That was a very beautiful segment to see Granard and her mother together. Very, very nice. I love it. Now, while they're training, we got to see Sato doing training. Now, we got a little bit of a segment in this moment where Sato is learning from the black merchants. Like everybody, like the whole town, people, even the merchants realize that, hey, you're a kid, but we can make you the best Ring King possible. See, when you have good people like them, knowing that your status is like a kid, not like a strong guy, once you have that status, you can do good. So while they got all their resources, they're now heading to another town where Amber, Sapphire, and the rest of the crew are gonna go. So again, this is another departing ways for them to get better. But Sato right now is stepping up while Hime is not really, like, she's stepping up little by little. We see that, but we're gonna see more because Hime has a lot of work, especially with the element of light. And if you if you very carefully look at the opening and not the fan service, you see the dark side, the darkness of Hime. And that's what's gonna be the most difficult, challenging for Hime's sake. She's gonna have to challenge her dark self. It's like looking at Spider-Man. The Spider-Man is the Venomness, you know what I mean? The good and the bad. You gotta channel all that. So we're gonna see that later on. But overall, though, episode 6 was a pretty cool and calm down episode. I mean, we got to see a little bit of fan service between two sisterly bonding, Mariana and Hime, good sister bonding, and then we got to see Hime's then we got to see Granite's mother make her debut, and she's a very nice woman. She's a very smashable cat MILF. Can't argue with that. You cannot argue with that, and I do like it. But again, next week, and then that mysterious person just giving Hime some advice, I think that's just a way to show us that this is all a trap, because the way how this person just randomly gave Hime light magic even more tells you something. There's going to be more to that than meets the eye. So thank you for watching my review of this show. I look forward for next week's episode of it, and I'll see you soon.